So, if I can give every 20-something-year-old advice for how to build a godly community, this is what I tell you. These are things that I've learned so far. First off, find people who love Jesus more than being liked. You don't need to find perfect friends. You need to find friends who care more about following Christ than following culture. Two, find people who tell you the truth even when it's uncomfortable. People who love you the most won't always tell you what you want to hear, but they'll call you to be higher and a better person. Third, find people who celebrate your growth, not just your comfort. A godly community doesn't keep you where you are, they encourage you to become who God created you to be. Four, spend more time with people who give you peace rather than cause you confusion. This is so important. After spending time with someone, I want you to start asking yourself, do I feel closer to God or farther than Him? And that'll tell you if you should be surrounding yourself with that person. Number five, and very importantly, protect the voices that influence your heart. So your community isn't just the people you text, it's so much more than that. I'm gonna get into that now, but here is the start of the video. Hey y'all! I know I look gross and sweaty. I just did a track workout. Actually, I'm kind of cooling down now. I was really sweaty like 15 minutes ago. But I was running, and what I wanted to talk about today popped into my head. So here we are. What I'm going to be talking about today is community and how important it is to decide the people you surround yourself with and the community that you're involved in, because it is shaping you into the person that you are becoming, whether you realize that or not. So let's get into it. So the older I get, the more I realize that the people around you shape who you become. Like I just said, it's not just your friends though. It's the podcasts you listen to. It's the creators you're following. It's the content that's on your page. It's even the conversations that you choose to entertain and be a part of. They are all disciplining you into the person you're becoming. And I think that's one of the reasons that I've been wanting to take a step back from TikTok and Instagram. I haven't had Snapchat in a while, but social media isn't evil. It's just because I don't get to choose what my mind is being filled with all the time. Like, you have no control over the content you're consuming. One minute I'm watching something super inspiring and motivational, and I'm like, I'm about to change my life. And then a minute later, I'm consuming a completely different type of content that's honestly changing the things that I value or making me question my life choices and what I think success looks like, or just what I believe is true. And honestly, that's terrifying that we could switch up our mind and our opinions that quickly. The Bible talks so much about community because the people around us truly influence us more than we realize. And my mom always told me growing up, she said, Sienna, be careful who you choose as your friends because they are a reflection of who you are. If you're going to be friends with the mean girls, you're going to become a mean girl. If you're going to be a part of the bullies, you're going to be a bully. So who you surround yourself with is a reflection of who you are. And I honestly didn't fully understand that until I became like a Christian on my own time. Because if you're trying to follow Christ, but every voice speaking into your life is pulling you in a different direction, eventually you'll start feeling divided on the inside. And I've also realized something. I realized that not everybody should have the same access to my life. Not everybody should be able to influence my life on the same level. Jesus loved everyone, but he was so specific about the people that he let speak over his life, because these were only the people that were on the same mission as him and had the same end goal as him. Jesus loved everyone, but he surrounded himself with people who were walking towards the same mission as him. These people had the same end goal as him, and he let them speak over his life. And that's what Christian community is. It's people who don't just tell you what you want to hear, it's people who tell you what you need to hear. And sometimes that's not easy. It's the people who remind you who God tells you you are when the world is trying to tell you something different. It's people who encourage you when you're struggling, people who challenge you when you're drifting, people who celebrate your growth, but they also care to call you out when needed. And they care about you lovingly enough to correct you. Like, that's the type of people that I want to be in my life, who could call me out and do it in a loving way that I know they just want the best for me. And that's what real love does. Honestly, the older I get, the more I realize that there's very few people in your life who genuinely want God's best for you. God, he wants what's best for you. Your family, I pray my family wants what's best for me. And I pray that the Christian community that God has given me also wants God's will for me. So what I'm trying to ask myself now, instead of saying like, God, what's wrong with me? I need to change my thinking to, God, what am I letting influence me? Like, when I wake up in the morning, do I reach for my phone or do I reach for a Bible study? Do I walk downstairs right away and grab a cup of coffee and stand in the sunlight and just thank you for giving me this day and counting my blessings and showing gratitude? Or do I hop on TikTok and scroll for 15 minutes and watch a video about someone going through a devastating tragedy and I'm automatically in a sad mood for the day? Like, these are the little things that we don't realize truly are changing our entire directory of our day, our life, our goals, our success, our family, our relationships. Like, it is so important to just be spending time with Jesus as much as you can instead of doing social media, instead of not doing social media, like instead of just going on it all the time. You know what I mean? So, who is influencing me? What am I allowing myself to watch? What am I allowing myself to listen to? Who am I going to for advice? Because the voices you constantly listen to will eventually become the thoughts you constantly think. That's crazy. The voices you listen to will soon become the thoughts that you constantly think. And I don't know about you guys, but I want the loudest voice in my life to be God's voice. If I only have God's voice in my life, I will be living the best version of my life I possibly could live. So, that's all I have for today. Those were my thoughts. Hopefully, this one wasn't too long. A cop car pulled up next to me while I was filming that, and I tried not to get distracted. So, I hope y'all have a blessed day. Happy Tuesday. Peace.